Councilor Tom Hick. He's one of the most conservative people in the RNC, and he just drove by and beeped and gave us a thumbs up in support. Wonderful thing. We need more people like him to actually speak up. And I know a lot of people have a lot of resentment towards some of the leadership here at the GOP here in Bristol, because I've talked to many a person scorned and they want to change the status quo. If this continues moving in this direction, these people are getting ready to step up and do things that people in city government do not want to see happen. So hopefully this thing goes on the ballot and I can get what I'm trying to achieve, which is get city government and the people in this town to work together so there's no animosity. Then we'll have to talk about things like closing the blog and have people complain that anybody who makes any negative comment about what they're trying to do, trying to be shut down. That's my goal.
Now, Shawn, you have a sign over here about a referendum. What is that all about?
There is a public hearing on the 30th for a proposal for the ballot for November to put a line item for redevelopment for downtown under the Connecticut Small Town Redevelopment Act. And the city of Bristol is going to be pursuing that because they're rebuilding some of the housing downtown. They're using blight ordinances to knock down some houses, and they want to build some new housing. So they're using community development block grants, and they want to use that grant to further assist in this project that they have. And simultaneously, there's another proposal to get a ballot line item specifically for Depot Square, and we have some city councilors saying that that would be improper because our town charter doesn't allow for it, when that's not entirely true. Although our town charter doesn't specifically address the issue, it does also not stop us from doing that. And the city council can have a referendum about anything that doesn't violate state or federal law, our constitutions, or our town charter, and they can make it binding. So there's no reason to have a non-binding referendum or to ignore the referendum altogether. We need the will of the people to be represented here in Bristol, and if it's not, there's going to be some serious changes.
We have another sign over here about the cost of this. What's that about the cost?
Oh, the total project is estimated to cost $128 million, and it has a value of negative $32 million. That was the city's appraisal high. So with the other appraisal being negative $34 million, no one can understand why the city would want to pursue this route. Obviously the free market has rejected it because the developer wasn't able to get private funding, so now they want to turn it to taxpayer. They want $6 million just for the first building. That's just one half of the first phase of a 6-phase project that they want to build in the downtown. And this is a comprehensive plan, and wherever there is a city taking on a comprehensive project, you're going to find that there's tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of debt accumulated for these redevelopment projects, and there's no guarantee that they will succeed.
Shawn, I couldn't hear that last part. What it means?
There's no guarantee of success. So to burden the taxpayer with that much debt without a guarantee, I think, is a disservice to our foundations.
Now, what about your sign about roads before agenda?
Oh, roads. Well, I have a Nissan Sentra. It's got 50,000 miles on it, and I need new shocks. And I talked to a few mechanics. They said that was premature, and they wondered if there was extenuating circumstances that led to that having happened. And the reason for that is I drive down Frederick Street and Emmett Street and a bunch of other roads in town. The city has not used its capital funding to repave the roads because it's spending all its money on knocking houses down and rebuilding to try to create some kind of, I don't want to call it a utopia, but I guess I just did. Against the wishes of the taxpayer, might I add, save for a select few of property owners in the downtown and a few red-handed politicians.
Now you have a sign
Forget for Depot Square.
And by this you mean?
That's the name of the project downtown. It's called Depot Square. It involves public transportation, and it's transit-oriented development, and that's been designated by our regional government. So it is absolutely a fact that that is what's being built downtown. The developer's website says they're building smart growth, which is also transit-oriented development. Everywhere where this is built, it requires subsidies. There is no place where you can build smart growth without tax dollars. But we have politicians and a developer in this town telling people they were going to build something without any tax money. So it's no surprise to hear that here in the final hour of the contract, the developer submitted a proposal saying they want $6 million for the first building. So I've posted a lot of signs around town, and I've made a lot of friends and allies talking to people. People are much more aware about what's going on, but still not everybody knows. I think it's important that everyone does know what's going on in their town with their own property in the downtown, because it's publicly owned and they are soliciting public money. It's the right of every person in this town to know exactly what's happening in their government.
Now, has Renaissance been in any other communities before? And if so, what has been the outcome of their handiwork?
Oh, well, Renaissance comes into town not to build, I guess. They come into town to create a framework for a public-private partnership. So they establish relationships in the town, talk to people about subsidies that are available and get them on board with the redevelopment. That's part of what they do. And they've done that pretty much everywhere they set up shop, but what they have not done yet anywhere was actually build something. So the residents of Bristol have been promised a piazza. It would be one-of-a-kind piazza, never been built before, just like the one that Renaissance promised to build in Glen Cove, New York. And this is supposed to be built after the apartments are built. And we're supposed to believe the developer that says they're building smart growth without a subsidy, that they will finish with a piazza, which is promised to all taxpayers. I say, horse pucky. We could take $6 million of our own money, we could build our own damn piazza, and kick these schemers back to Long Island.
Now, could you explain about the apartments, housing situation, along with the stores below?
The apartments are supposed to be market rate apartments, but in fact, thank you. I don't know if you noticed, but I have a little sign saying, honk if you agree here. So that's what all the noise is coming by. But the apartments are supposed to be market rate. They're in fact smaller than the other apartments, and they are more costly than the other apartments in the downtown. And they seem to think that they're going to be able to bring millennials into town because it has transit next to it, and it's going to be a vibrant, walkable downtown. When in fact walkability has more to do with low-income people that don't have automobiles, and you can see that just as plain as day if you look at the regional plan, which spells Bristol out right in a diagram. So I believe what the intent is to build these apartments which will not be filled up with people that are actually paying for them out of their own pocket, and instead the state will fill them up with low-income people and ensure that they're going to have access to transportation as indicated in the transportation documents from the CCRPA.
What is CCRPA?
The CCRPA is the Central Connecticut Regional Planning Agency, and they're in charge of giving out economic development money. They're in charge of giving out money for transportation and for housing, and they're funneling all these state funds into projects such as the one that we're building here in the downtown, such as what we've done in New London, where they used eminent domain, such as they've done in New Britain, where they've used eminent domain to take people's private property and run a busway through it. Effective January 1st, 2015, the CCRPA will no longer be a part of the state regional planners. We will have a council of governments. In effect, it will be regional government. The state will be split into 8 different districts who will be making these decisions, and your only elected leader that's going to sit on the board to make those decisions is going to be your mayor. So if you're as unfortunate as some people are to have only 2 candidates running for mayor, and both of them support a downtown project which is going to bring low-income housing and possibly an increase in crime into your downtown, you will have absolutely no say whatsoever with your vote or any manner whatsoever on what gets built in your downtown. I think this is a travesty. It's an attack on our constitutional rights. We, the people, are the holders of the power according to the Constitution of Connecticut.
Now, can you tell me, you said that the regional district is going to be giving out money?
Yeah, they're actually...
But where are they getting this money from?
They get it from the state and the federal government, and they also get it from the public-private partnerships that they are setting up. And that's where the master developer comes into play too, because they are a player. They speak with the Department of Transportation, the regional planners, the councils of governments speak with the Department of Transportation, and they secure those funds. They speak with the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and they receive those funds. And they also receive funds from special interest groups, such as some of the most powerful banking institutions in the country, which were recipients of the bailouts. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Blah, blah, blah. Come on, public debt is good.
Yeah, that's I heard.
Just
that.
like hurricanes and earthquakes and
broken window.
Vandalism stimulates the economy. Come on.
Yes, there's nothing that stimulates economic growth more than taking money and spending on something you already have. I learned that at home.
Well, more is better, right?
More is better.
Bigger is better.
You can never have enough food. If it spoils after a week and you throw it out, that's okay, as long as you don't have to pay for it, right?
Well, are any taxpayers' dollars involved in this?
Absolutely. Absolutely, on every level of government. And unfortunately, city leaders and our developer have not owned up to that fact. There are $25 million worth of parking garages slated to go into downtown. Connecticut Light and Power already got the contract plans for it. So why do taxpayers not know about it?
Well,
good question.
Shawn, you are a wealth of information, and I thank you for being willing to come out here today and share what you know with the people of Bristol. Thank you.
I'm glad I could inform the people of Bristol. Thank you.